Hi everyone, Leah here from EurekaCrystalBeads.com with another fun beading video for you. Before I get started, take a quick look at our channel, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and you'll always know when we're posting new content. Okay, today's project is going to be a stitch tutorial slash part 2 of a previous video we did called the Criss-Cross Crystal Bracelet. And if you want to learn how to make this right here, you're going to want to go ahead and watch that other video, and we will link it below in the description box for you. And the reason is because I'm not going to be showing you in this video how to do this part. That was part 1 in the other video. This is part 2 where I'm going to show you how to make it double wide. And we got a great question requesting this video on the original. So hope you like it, guys. We're going to be using the same 3 basic items, which is why this bracelet design is so cool. 3 things, that's it. We have our SuperDuos, we have our 4mm bicones, and we have our size 11 seed beads. So with the exception of a clasp or your needles or your fire line, this is a 3-item project, which is a lot of fun. As a small review, I am using a size 12 needle and 6-pound fire line. But again, this original part here, go ahead and view that older video, make this the length that you need it for a bracelet, and then come back here, and now I'll show you the rest of it, how to make it double wide. All right, so I've dumped out a little bit of each of the 3 items that I'm going to be using, and all I've done is I've traveled with my thread from the very tip of the bracelet, which is where you should have left off after creating the length that you need, that you learned in the part 1 video. And I just traveled right down here, down the side. So I'm coming out of a bicone on the side. So again, I just went through the size 11 seed bead, that top hole of that SuperDuo, the size 11 seed bead, and then the bicone. So I just traveled right down the side. And I'm going to be making another one of these little units here, but it's going to come right off the side instead of at the end. So if I'd done this coming out of this bicone here, we're going to add more length. We don't want to add length. We want to start to add width. So I'm going to do the same exact steps that you used to create your next unit, but off the side. After that, it will get a little bit different. Very similar to right angle weave when you're making something, or when you're making another row in right angle weave. That first corner you turn is sort of one sequence of events, and then after that, as you start to go down the strip, it's a little bit different. But for now, this first part here that we're making on the side, it's going to be the same exact steps. So we're going to pick up all the beads we need. And this is the same sequence that you learned in part 1. So again, that's why it's important to familiarize yourself here. If you watched part 1 and you created your single strip, this should be super familiar to you. I will show you anyways what I picked up just because. And you're going to want to make sure, as an additional reminder, that you check those second holes in your SuperDuos to make sure that you don't get any that have a plug in them. Every once in a while that does happen. So, okay, so here's what I picked up. I picked up seed bead, SuperDuo seed bead, bicone. Then I did that 2 more times and then ended with another seed bead, SuperDuo seed bead. Now we're going to pass back through this side bicone again. I'm just going to loop back around. So that way my needle and my working thread are both coming out of the same bead and on the same side of that bead. Just like that. Now we have to pull the top hole of our SuperDuos in by putting a size 11 seed bead in between each one. Again, this is exactly like you did over here. So as long as you're familiar with part 1, this is nothing but a review. So I'm going to travel through 2 more beads. So I'm coming out of the SuperDuo there. I'm going to pass up through the top hole. And this will reverse my direction. And now we're going to use a size 11 to pop all 4 of these SuperDuos into the center. And again, like I said, if you did part 1, this should be very familiar to you. So we're just going from top hole to top hole of those 4 SuperDuos, picking up a size 11 in between each one. And then like I showed you in the first video, this will just pull right in like that. If it's a little bit loose, that's okay. Once we get through the final bead, you can pull it all tight. So once we go through that super duo again, you can pull this all tight. Now, what we were doing before is we were working our way around the circle so we could come out the bicone that was opposite the one we built this unit off of. So that would have been, you know, working our way towards here. But we don't want to work our way towards here because we don't want to make another unit off this side. We want to make another unit off here. So we're going to travel around so we can eventually come out of this bicone there. So let me just get through there and I will show you my thread path. I'm just going through the 11s and those inner holes of the super duos until I get to that lower part. I'm going to go one super duo past that bicone, past where that bicone is lined up, because then we pass up through. Let me turn this just so I can get into that bead. We're going to go up into the top hole, through that 11, and then through the bicone. You usually can't get through it all in one pass just because the angle of the bicone. Okay, so we have made our first little segment off to the side. And again, this is very, very similar to right angle weave. So those who are familiar with the makeup of right angle weave might sort of understand the structure of what's happening here. But that's what we got so far. So next, I'm going to show you how we're going to do the next unit. And the reason that this is going to be a little different than this one here is that when we built these consecutive units here, they all shared a bead, and that's sort of center bicone. And this unit and this unit share a bead, and that's that center bicone. Well, the thing is, now that we've turned that corner, when we do this unit here, it's going to have two shared bicones. So just like this unit and this unit was connected here, the next unit is going to connect here and into here. So they're going to have two connection points, not just one. Okay, there's going to be two connection points. So we're going to get started on that. Let me just pick up those beads. Okay, so the beads that I picked up are a little bit less than what I normally do when I add on another unit. And what we're missing here is that third bicone and that last fourth little segment of seed bead, super duo seed bead. And the reason is because that third bicone that I would have been picking up now is already right here. So that's where we need to pick up, is a bicone that's already in our bracelet. I'm going to bring this down, and now we're going to pick up that last missing piece here, which was seed bead, super duo seed bead. And we're going to head right into that bicone here, that other shared point. And you're going to see how we're going to have that unit that now just needs to have this flipped inside. Okay, so remember, now we need to get to a super duo and reverse our direction because we need to get to the top hole. So we're going to travel through that seed bead there. I'm trying to get into it while I'm still holding it so you can see. That can get a little tricky sometimes. And then we're going to reverse direction and go up into the top hole right there. Now we're going to go and pick up our 11s to pull that in. I just think this is such a cool way to make a really fun, elaborate bracelet with only 3 things. And I know the sort of the bane of so many beaders' existence is picking out colors and projects with a million different things. Well, this one kind of really helps you out with 3 things. It's pretty easy to pick just 3 colors that look pretty together. I'm going to go through the final bit because now we have to come out here again. So we're going to travel around so we can come out there. So I'm just going to turn this so it's a little easier for me to get through that. So again, you'll notice that I'm passing through one super duo past that bicone. So that way I can go up into the top hole, reverse my direction. Oop, I got through all at once. And then come out that bicone. super fun. So I'm going to show you that one more time because I know this is a tricky one. So the only thing that's going to be different now is we're going to do the same exact steps, but we are working in the opposite direction, you're going to notice. So before we were doing this, and now we're looping in this direction. So it's going to keep alternating like that. Again, very similar to right angle weave. So those who are familiar with right angle weave are going to, this might click a little bit easier. But before we picked up about 75% of that bead sequence and then picked up that last bicone and that last little seed bead, SuperDuo seed bead. Well, now we're reversed, so it's going to be opposite. So we're going to pick up that single section of seed bead, SuperDuo seed bead. We're going to go into that shared side bicone. We're doing a big loop-de-loop. And now we can pick up the rest of that sequence. So that's going to be seed bead, SuperDuo seed bead, bicone, seed bead, SuperDuo seed bead, bicone, seed bead, SuperDuo seed bead. And we're going to loop back into the other shared bead. So the two shared bicones are the one that we're coming out of here, and then the one that we need to go into to complete that circle. Just like that. Let me pull my thread a little bit longer there. Just like this. So now we have to add in our 11s that will pull our SuperDuos in. So I'm going to go 2 more beads, which means I'm going through the 11 and then the SuperDuo. Reversing my direction and going up into the SuperDuo's top hole right there. And then we're picking up our 11s. Just like that. It may be a little tricky because of the sort of the loop-de-looping. You just want to remember that each time you make a unit down the length of the bracelet, it's going to have 2 shared points, and you're always just kind of completing those circles. Okay, let's get through here. So that's what we got. How super fun is that? So to get to the end, again, we're going to keep going through that little inner portion there. And when I say inner portion, I mean the bottom holes of the SuperDuos and the 11s. I consider the outer portion the top holes of the SuperDuos and then the 11s and the bicones. But we're going to keep going through. We're going to go through one SuperDuo past that 11, which you will remember is exactly what we did up here. That's going to alternate as well, because remember, our direction is reversing around now. And now I'm going to go up through the other hole of that SuperDuo, through the 11 and through the bicone. And now we're ready to get going again. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, this was just sort of a stitch tutorial part 2. If you want to learn how to make this bracelet from start to finish, go ahead and check out the link below that we're going to leave you in the description box. And that will make you a beautiful single wide finished bracelet. And then hopefully if you have a love of that look, you will love doing this double wide. I think it's a lot of fun. It works up very quickly. So that's another positive of this bracelet. It's a great gift idea because it's only 3 ingredients and it works 3 ingredients. It's only three components and it works up so fast. Now, as far as a clasp goes, that's where you're going to have some options. So let's talk about that. You could use 2 single clasps, like 2 single magnetic clasps. You could use 2 single lobster claws, 2 single buttons, or you could use a wider clasp, like a slide bar clasp. Those like where those tubes where they come out from each other. You could definitely do one of those. That's probably what I would have on mine as my ideal. So you know what, we'll link you to those as well, because I do think that they will be ideal for this because it's a clasp that has 2 loops. So it's a 2 loop slide bar clasp. And that means you will only have 1 clasp to deal with, and it will have this nice bar look, which will be about the width of this area. So that's probably what I would do. But again, you have multiple options there. 2 single clasps. Probably the next best option, I'd say, after the slide bar clasp would be 2 magnetic clasps that I think would work out pretty well as well. So that's what we got, guys. Hope you loved it. We were so thrilled with the comment that we got requesting this video, which is why we love the comments you leave on the videos. Please leave us comments. We read every single one of them. And when we see a really, really great suggestion, we love it. We will run with it. All right, guys, take a look at the description box below. We're also going to link you to our selection of 11s, bicones, and SuperDuos over on EurekaCrystalBeads.com, so you can go to town picking out your beautiful, beautiful colors. Let us know below if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time. Bye.